With his 633 pounds and immense strength, Konishiki Yasokichi, the giant from Hawaii, burst into the world of sumo, where foreigners were rarities and prejudices were as formidable an adversary as the rikishi on the dohyo. On the Sumo Spirit channel, we tell you the story of the Hawaiian dump truck. In the heart of Oahu, Hawaii, Saleva a Fuaoli Atisanoe was born on December 31, 1963, a boy destined to become a legend under the name Konishiki Yasokichi. He grew up in a humble environment, the son of a large family with Samoan roots. His father worked in the United States Navy, while his mother took care of him and his 7 siblings. From a young age, Saleva stood out for his size. At 18, he already weighed an impressive 375 pounds, a characteristic that made him stand out on the beaches of Honolulu. Although he was a promising student at the University High School in Honolulu, with aspirations of becoming a lawyer and a music scholarship offer to Syracuse University, his destiny changed one day on the beach. In 1982, a sumo talent scout, impressed by his bulk, discovered him. This encounter was decisive. The former Hawaiian wrestler Takamiyama, a pioneering figure in Japanese sumo, recruited him to join the Takasago stable in Japan. Despite his parents' reluctance, who feared for his future in a country so far away and culturally different, Konishiki saw sumo as a unique opportunity. Inspired by Takamiyama, whom he considered a local hero, he decided to travel to Japan at the age of 18, leaving behind his academic plans to pursue a dream on the dohyo. He made his professional debut in the July 1982 tournament, adopting the name Konishiki Yasokichi in honor of the 17th Yokozuna of the 19th century. Life in the Takasago stable was a challenge. Sumo wrestlers live in a hierarchical system where novices perform household chores and train under strict discipline. The training was exhausting. The rikishi practiced daily in sessions that combined strength, flexibility, and simulated combat exercises. Konishiki, with his size, had to work on his agility to counter the perception that he was slow. However, cultural adaptation was equally demanding. Learning Japanese, adopting sumo traditions, and earning respect in a sport dominated by Japanese were constant obstacles. Konishiki was a colossus on the dohyo. He had to adapt to a hypercaloric diet based on chankonabe. This diet, combined with rigorous training, transformed his body. With a height of just over 6 feet, throughout his career, his weight increased dramatically, reaching a maximum of 633 pounds in 1996, making him the heaviest sumo wrestler in history until he was surpassed by Aurora in 2017. His wide and robust body earned him nicknames like Dump Truck and Meat Bomb, alluding to both his mass and his impact on the ring. Unlike taller wrestlers like Akabono, Konishiki compensated for his shorter stature with a low center of gravity, making him difficult to move. His weight, although an advantage, was also a challenge. Mobility was a constant concern, and injuries, especially to his knees, plagued him in the second half of his career. Despite this, his size made him an iconic figure, attracting media attention and the Japanese public. The foreign giant quickly rose through the lower divisions of sumo, reaching the top Makuuchi division in 1984, just 2 years after his debut. In 1987, he became the first Hawaiian to reach the rank of Ōzeki, the second highest in sumo, a monumental achievement for a foreigner. His career reached its peak between 1990 and 1992, when he won 3 top division championships, an impressive record that positioned him as a candidate for Yokozuna. In 1991 and 1992, his consecutive tournament victories sparked a national debate in Japan. The title of Yokozuna, reserved for wrestlers who demonstrate not only skill, but also dignity and grace, was within Konishiki's reach, but the Japan Sumo Association and the Yokozuna Deliberation Committee rejected him. The official reason was that his fighting style, too reliant on yorikiri, lacked the versatility expected of a Yokozuna. For many, Konishiki was denied promotion to Yokozuna despite his impressive record because the Sumo Association saw his over-reliance on yorikiri and lack of technique variety as unworthy of the prestigious rank. His dominance alone wasn't enough. It lacked the finesse expected of a grand champion. However, many speculated that his foreign origin and cultural resistance to a non-Japanese Yokozuna played a crucial role. This decision sparked accusations of xenophobia, especially since shortly after, in 1993, another Hawaiian, Akebono, became the first foreign Yokozuna. Konishiki, despite his disappointment, continued to compete, but knee injuries and the loss of his Ōzeki rank in 1993 after 2 tournaments with losing records marked the decline of his career. Konishiki became a tremendously popular figure in Japan, not only for his size but for his warm and approachable personality. His bulk made him stand out, but it was his smile and willingness to interact with fans that made him a celebrity. In 1996, he opened his own website, being the first sumo wrestler to do so, reflecting his interest in connecting with the modern world. Despite cultural barriers, Konishiki earned the respect of many Japanese, although he also faced prejudices. His popularity transcended sumo, appearing on television shows and public events. Konishiki's fighting style was based on his physical power. Early in his career, under the guidance of his first stablemaster, Konishiki mastered Oshi Sumo, favoring fierce thrusts and shoves like Oshidashi and Tsukidashi. His strategy? End fights fast and with brute force. After knee troubles in '88 and '89, Konishiki's balance took a hit. So did his fighting style. As his weight climbed, he shifted to grabbing his opponent's mawashi and wearing them down with sheer mass. By 1992, he was bulldozing almost everyone out of the ring with Yorikiri, a direct force technique that involves pushing the opponent out of the dohyo using body weight and strength. In 1992, when he was at the peak of his career, he won almost all his matches with Yorikiri. This tactic, although effective, was criticized for its lack of versatility. Now, let's see his best fights using these techniques. Number 1. Konishiki vs. Takanosato, Akibasho, 1984. With his imposing mass, Konishiki received Takanosato with several slaps to the face. Intelligently, being smaller and aware that he couldn't face him directly, Takanosato opted to grab his left arm, but it was all in vain when the Hawaiian expelled him from the platform with a forceful Oshidashi. Number 2. Konishiki vs. Terao, Natsubasho, 1987. From the tachiai, both wrestlers engaged in a tsupari duel, throwing powerful thrusts aimed at the face and torso. At one point, Terao surprisingly pushed Konishiki back, but the Colossus regained ground and sent his rival to the edge. Terao sidestepped laterally to avoid expulsion, but made the mistake of turning his back to Konishiki, who took advantage to send him flying with a great Oshitaoshi. Number 3. Konishiki vs. Akebono, Natsubasho, 1991. This was a true duel between Hawaiian titans. The two masses charged at each other with force, moving into a grappling struggle. Both grabbed each other's mawashi, but intelligently, Konishiki forced Akebono downward, making him bend his knees and sliding him to the edge, taking him out with a yorikiri. Number 4. Konishiki vs. Kirishima, Harubasho, 1992. The size difference was notable. Although Kirishima tried to bring down the giant by pushing his head downward with Soku Byotoshi, Konishiki stood firm and responded by pushing his rival's head frontally. The Japanese resisted, but eventually fell when the Hawaiian used his weight in an Abisi Taoshi and let himself fall on top of his opponent. Number 5. Konishiki vs. Wakashimazu, Akibasho, 1986. From the very beginning, Konishiki knew how to use his massive size to his advantage, and this bout was no exception. As soon as the tachiai signal was given, he exploded forward with overwhelming force, launching into a relentless yoritaoshi that left Wakashimazu with no time to react, forcing him out of the dohyo in a matter of seconds. Number 6. Konishiki vs. Asahifuji, Natsubasho, 1987. The Hawaiian didn't waste a second. He charged forward with explosive energy, delivering a series of brutal thrusts straight to his opponent's neck. With no room to recover, his rival was overwhelmed in an instant, and Konishiki sealed the match with a devastating Oshidashi that sent him flying off the dohyo and crashing into the front row spectators, leaving the crowd in shock. Number 7. Konishiki vs. Kirishima Akibasho, 1995. In another bout against Kirishima, Konishiki showcased his raw power with a straightforward yet unstoppable frontal assault. From the moment they clashed, Kirishima struggled to hold his ground but was quickly overwhelmed by the sheer force of Konishiki's charge. With a commanding series of thrusts, the giant wrestler drove him backward step by step, finally finishing the match with a textbook oshidashi that sent Kirishima tumbling out of the ring. Number 8. Konishiki vs. Chiyonofuji, Natsubasho, 1987. In another swift and decisive victory, Konishiki wasted no time asserting control, unbalancing his opponent with a powerful initial shove. Seizing the momentum, he followed up with a relentless series of alternating thrusts, expertly using both hands to keep his rival off balance. With each push, the pressure mounted until, with a final explosive tsukidashi, he drove his opponent clean out of the dohyo, leaving no doubt about his dominance. Number 9. Konishiki vs. Kirinji, Natsubasho, 1987. Kirinji did everything in his power to withstand the relentless assault of the foreign titan, digging in as Konishiki launched wave after wave of crushing thrusts. The veteran Rikishi managed to stay on his feet for a few tense moments, but the sheer weight and strength pressing against him proved too much. Gradually forced to the edge of the dohyo, Kirinji could no longer resist and was finally driven out with a powerful tsukidashi, tumbling backward into the stunned spectators at ringside. Number 10. Konishiki vs. Kitanumi, Kyushubasho, 1984. It seems that Kitanumi thought he had a chance by propelling himself with a small jump at the tachiai, but Konishiki shattered those hopes by receiving him with a combination of firmness and pushes to the face until he achieved victory with his characteristic oshidashi, demonstrating his dominance on the dohyo. In November 1997, after 15 years in sumo, Konishiki faced demotion to the Juryo division due to his chronic knee problems, gout, and stomach ulcers. At 33, he decided to retire, a decision driven by his physical deterioration. His final record of 733-498-95 placed him among the most outstanding wrestlers of his era. After leaving sumo, Konishiki turned to music, playing the ukulele and exploring hip-hop. In 2000, he released the album KMS, with songs like Island Girl, Sumo Stomp, and Sumo Gangsta, combining English and Japanese in a unique style. He also collaborated with artists such as Rimi Natsukawa and El Berna on the song Livin' Like Kings. His entertainment career included film appearances, such as a cameo in Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift, and participation in Japanese television shows. Additionally, he became a philanthropist, raising funds for the victims of the 2011 earthquake in Japan. However, Konishiki's health became a concern. In 2008, weighing over 600 pounds, he underwent gastric reduction surgery after a knee operation, initially losing 150 pounds. By 2009, his weight had reduced to 384 pounds. Although his physical transformation was notable, he maintained his charisma and continued to be a beloved figure in Japan. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the Sumo Spirit channel for more content. See you in the next video.